We are live.
What's going on? It's Sketchy Live Monday.
Hey guys.
Sketchy Live Monday, exclusively here on YouTube.
So exciting.
We are excited that you're with us. Hopefully you got the notification to let you know we are on. If you didn't, hi, Sadie. It'll probably happen the next time. Just kidding. It'll happen. Yeah, we're so excited to be here. We've got so much to talk about. Holy cow. Realistically, we came home Monday.
Right. And we were probably home early enough to be able to do a show.
Yeah, there was just so much going on. And then of course, Tuesday was when, anyways, we'll talk about Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. Hey, look at it. Sam Metro just popped on. Boom, ski. Anyway, Sketchy Live Monday. I'm Johnny Jalopy, hot rod artist, pseudo fabricator guy, sometimes trying to get stuff done, hot rod enthusiast. With me, as always, the linchpin, the keeping it all together, Ity-B. We have so much to talk about. Autorama wrap up.
Yes.
We want to talk about Gene Winfield, of course, and want to share some stuff about this really cool channel, Iron Trap Garage, that if you're a hot rod person, you definitely want to go check out, and much, much more.
So we will be right back.
We'll see you in a few. Sketchy Live.
Yes.
We're so excited to be here. Sketchy
Yay!
Live Monday. Hey, look, even Koopy showed up.
Aw, baby girl.
Hey, so Sketchy Live Monday here for our first time exclusively live on YouTube. We're so excited about it. We know the growing pains are going to start because already we don't have as many as we normally do popping in the front door. But those you nine that are here, we're so excited that you're here. Ity-B, quickly run through who is here because these are the folks. High five.
Yes. Thank you.
You made it.
We have got Lizzie Daughtry, Elizabeth Handmade Jewelry and Crafts. She said, let me be the first to say hello to Johnny and Ity-B. She was the first one on.
First one.
At 9:28, and we didn't even start until 9:30. So we appreciate you, Lizzie.
We're going to show you up on the deal.
We've got Sam Metro, like you said. Glad to see you two back safely. We had a great trip.
Man,
Lizzie said, welcome back from Detroit. What did you bring me? LOL. We've got Jim Pollan joining us. Hey, YouTube, Hobos, Hot Rod Garage, Horseheads, New York, Custom Bead rolling with us tonight.
Custom bead rolling over at Horsehead.
We've got Dr. V Dubs Creations. What? Look like you guys had a great time.
We had a great time. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you.
We've got Cameron McNulty joining us. Hi, you guys.
How's that full custom garage project coming? I see you're doing a whole crazy redo of the change of plans.
Oh,
Dr. V Dub.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey,
Cam,
our daughter Cameron McNulty from Wyoming joining us.
Let's do our first YouTube official. Allow me to.
There you go. Lizzie's asking for a thumbs up and show us some love, guys. So we would appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Yes. We're so excited. Here's the growing, and folks are slowly coming in, which is fantastic. This is what usually when you see people go live on Facebook, so we may have to do a little bit longer tonight, just because it's our first. And usually what happens, it takes a few minutes for people to go, oh yeah, I forgot they're not on Facebook.
Right.
So there's hopefully 30, 40 people on Facebook right now going, hey, where's Sketchy Live Monday? Why aren't they there?
Come on over.
Hey, this is where we live now, is over here on YouTube.
This is our first time doing just the YouTube, so we'll see how it goes.
Going down on the YouTubes.
But yeah, we did have a fantastic trip. Chilly up there in Michigan. Yes. It was a high of 24 most of the days we were up there.
Yes.
But it was kind of refreshing. Yeah. I didn't mind it. It wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be.
But it was nice to get home to greenery and sun and warmth. And of course, the puppy dog and senior dad get to spend some time with him was great. You know, that's always a good time. Had a great conversation with my daughter over when we got back, which was fun and amazing. So that was awesome. But man, we have got hot rod stuff to talk about.
Yes.
So let's get into Autorama. Let's fill you in. So multiple days. It's Tuesday.
Well, we showed
Tuesday
up
before. Hold on, we're not going to the show yet.
Oh, I thought
because
we
don't you
were
remember
going
all
to
the
the
stuff that
show.
happened before we went to the show? You don't want to talk about that stuff?
Go ahead.
You know, yelling at me because I melted your. Go ahead.
I wanted a new Ity-B sweatshirt.
Yes, you did.
I wanted my design on it, the one that we have on the website, t-shirt design that I have with my logo.
So such a good person. Johnny runs out because we
Runs
wanted
out.
to bring t-shirts to the show. So
we got some t-shirts.
We went and bought a whole bunch of t-shirts, and we were like, I'm going to pick one design. And of course, you know, not thinking, hey, do you have enough designs to do as many t-shirts as you purchased?
And we did not.
We didn't. So we hit at the 0 hour, you know, midnight. I'm over there changing the plans and trying to fix t-shirts and make different t-shirts. And
but we got
pull
it done.
T-shirts out from last year and stick them in there as well for more occasions. And then, you know, Ity-B is like, hey, can you do a sweatshirt? I went and got her a sweatshirt, of course, not at midnight, but in the middle of the day. And most sweatshirts have a metal zipper.
Not this one.
And so I pressed her shirt like normal. I pressed the design, and the front logo is a chest part. And so in order to get the logo to sit right and stuff, I had to, you know, leg the zipper down underneath the plantain. And so smash it down. I show her, she puts it on, and it looks great. She's like, that'll work. Perfect. And then the next morning she goes to put it on to go get ready for us to leave, and she can't zip it up.
It was literally
because the zipper
melted.
The zipper completely melted, closed. Like not just one or two spots, the whole. So
needless to say,
she didn't get to go with the new shirt.
Didn't get to go with my new one. But we are going to find one with a metal zipper, because I think that's going to be a problem going forward anyway. If we continue to get that kind of design, it's going to melt every single time.
Probably.
Even if you knew you were trying to avoid it, I don't think there's a way to avoid it.
Yeah.
It would have melted. So we're going to get that done though. And I'm going to get my sweatshirt. But we did go with quite a few shirts, and people were eating them up. We got rid of most of them.
Yeah, we did sell quite a bit of t-shirts.
Yeah. So thankful for that.
Which means next Detroit Autorama, there will be maybe 2 designs.
Better planning, of course.
And better planning and space planning too. Yeah. We'll have to figure that all out.
Well, here's what we did different this year than we did last year. Well, one of our buddy Gibb, our buddy Gibb, who we love to death, was not there this year. We didn't get to see him this year. I'm so upset. But normally he sets up and he's doing pinstriping. So he's on a good at least half a table. And
6 footer.
Yeah.
6 footer.
And we usually leave him room. Well, we found out he wasn't coming this year. So we're like, oh, okay, maybe we can spread out a little bit. And then Shaggy, as he sold his stuff, which, oh my gosh, he got rid of stuff so quickly.
The stuff on Shag's table was amazing.
Oh my gosh,
was amazing.
Some really cool stuff this year. And then just the oldies but goodies, his little what do they call it?
I have photos of the setup and stuff I'm going to share.
Yeah. Okay. So. What are those little things called? Oh, the spark plugs. His little spark plug people and
every kind of spark plug person you could think of was happening. So that was he sold through. So we took up took up
more room because Johnny brought these clipboards. I brought
clipboards to sell pre-done
clipboards. We also had some pre-done art.
And I took another 15 and another 10 clipboards with me, and we sold quite a few clipboards too.
We still had some overflow from Show Me Lowbrow Art in October. We had a couple pieces. We put those out, sold a few of those. So there was really quite a bit of art out, and we didn't have another way to display it other than just put it on the table. So that took up quite a bit of space, but we made it work. Beanies, we sold quite a few of those actually.
Yeah.
Which was great because we still don't have the hats, but we are getting hats. So I'm excited about that. You're sharing your screen already.
Well, go to us.
I'm going to us.
How do you not control?
Okay. Let me catch you up on comments real quick while you're pulling up some photos so we can show you guys what's going on. We have, where did I leave off here? We've got Michael joining us. Hey, gang, welcome back. Thank you. Good to be back. Diane Kinnery, she says, hi, guys. Kinnery's here. Jim wants to know if you received his voice message.
No.
Oh.
I'll have to go through my phone. I hadn't.
He'd been purposely not checking because maybe work was calling him and he didn't want to have to.
If I'm being honest,
he'll check.
Yeah,
he'll check, Jim.
Check.
Sorry about that. Tony Bennett, hello from Milan, Michigan, and Hot Rod's Motorcycle Awareness and Suicide Prevention Foundation.
Yes, got my button on.
Yeah, he stopped by the booth. We got some pretty cool stuff from him.
We're gonna share some stuff as we
and I can read through that
to talk about it.
Wesley Wilkerson joining us. Wait a minute. I clicked on your Facebook page and it took me to YouTube. Yes.
Good.
That's what we wanted. We're streaming live only on YouTube. If you're just joining us and didn't get the announcement a couple weeks ago, we are only on YouTube for live streaming now. So I'm glad you made your way over. He said it's George Bennett from Hot Rods. Yes.
What'd you say?
Because it's his screen name is Tony Bennett, but it's George.
Yeah.
Sorry. Frank Pupello, greetings from Land Lakes. Johnny and Ity-B are on the air. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Riff Driven. Oh, I'm late. I was waiting on the other upcoming live session. Hope you had a good trip. We did. We're about ready to talk about it here. Paul Arnold. Hello from Michigan. Welcome, sir.
Not sharing it. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's not sharing it. Okay. Well, maybe we are unable to do the photos at this moment. So we're going to give it a second. But yes, so we had this little bit of a dilemma before we headed out, but we were able to get our gear together. Travel was super easy. Rental car, super easy. We got into town and called the guys immediately. And we got set up with Bob. Bob, his hospitality is just amazing. We had a room waiting for us, a little basket of goodies and waters and, just everything you could possibly. It was like checking into a 5-star hotel, right? It was so cool. Oh, there's the gang. So this was our first night in. We met up with everybody for dinner once we got in and got settled.
Yeah. So we definitely want to talk about. Did you get everybody?
Yeah, we're all caught
up. So now that we've got 17 folks here, and we've been on now for how many minutes?
12
minutes. Okay. So we want to talk about Autorama, but before we do that, I don't think it would be wrong or we'd be out of line to do this right now, or should we talk about Autorama and then talk about Gene?
Yeah. Yep. Let's talk about Autorama first.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll talk about Autorama.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. So to Johnny's left, we have Mike Hicks, and then Bob at the end of the table there next to him, Little Daddy. And then Shaggy, and then Shaggy's wife, Val, she came out to meet us. I was thankful because I wanted to make sure we saw her, and we didn't get over to the house. So, super fun night at Pete's Place. We love Pete's Place. That is the place to be if you're going to be in Taylor, Michigan. Love it there. What else are you sharing?
Did it share?
No.
Why isn't it sharing?
I don't know. George says my boy loved the clipboard for his birthday. Oh, good. Very good. Yep. One of our clipboards. I say one of Johnny's clipboards. There you go.
There we go. There's the gang.
Yeah, there's the gang. So these were our housemates. Well, except for Shaggy. But Shaggy's in there too. Beard game on all these guys is pretty strong, except for Bob. He was clean shaven.
Yeah, Bob's always rocking the clean do.
Yeah, we had so much fun.
Let's see if I can get one of the actual.
Oh, this is our booth.
Yeah.
Shaggy stuff to the right. We were up front, more on the left, and then to the far left, Little Daddy's table. I still don't know where this Rat Fink replica came in, but there we are. There's all the art we had down.
Such a stupid picture. I wish I could do this as like a screen show. I don't know if we can do that.
Slideshow, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I don't know if you can.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, you're swallowing.
I'm just buying time while I'm waiting for your next slide.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways.
How about now? There it goes.
Yeah. There we go. Make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. There we
So
go.
that's the guy from the farm truck guy. This guy right here. We didn't meet him. I sat here and took a picture, and then afterwards just saw that he was there, and I didn't even say hello.
And who is it?
That's the guy that drives a farm truck. So a lot of people that are into automotive stuff know who he is.
Oh,
They built this C10 pickup truck that's like this full-on dragster. So the first time it ever came out, there was like a TV show called Street Racers or some kind of thing, and this guy shows up in this farm truck. It looks like this beat up ass farm truck, and shows up with all these, you know, modified Camaros and all this kind of stuff, and just beats the hell out of everybody.
really?
Yeah. So then he got this reputation, and then him and then his partner build all kinds of stuff with this farm truck idea. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't even know he was in the booth.
There's our pal, Little Daddy
Little
Roth,
Daddy
and our
Roth.
setup. And of course, I'm wearing my Sam Metro t-shirt, or a shirt that he gave me.
Oh, right.
Yep. And there's that's
Uncle Larry's daughter
Larry's
and
daughter
and her guy.
Yep. We're hanging by again. We don't know where this rat.
I don't know where the rat thing came from.
There's the setup, and you can see over here to the side. There's all Shaggy's goodies and whatnot.
I did post a video, and I went by slow, so hopefully you can
look,
see
it's
that.
Little Daddy Roth's butt. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. And there's
there's his
LDRs.
setup.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
his
so
setup.
cool.
Yep. There's Uncle Larry.
There he is, security.
It was amazing. Holding down the place.
So funny. So last year, I think we told the story.
Yeah.
He wore a security hat and a security shirt just that he had from some other security job that he did. So he's walking around this place, and there was an area where people had run extension cords, like the part where people walk, and there was like this rubber band thing on it covering it, and it wasn't staying, and it was still a trip hazard. So Uncle Larry decides to contact somebody on the security team to, hey, we need to get this fixed. This is a problem. From that point forward, there were employees on the security team coming up to him asking if they could go on break. Like it was hilarious. They thought he was in charge.
He was like, "What are you doing right now?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "We were heading to the top." Okay, just making sure. You doing all right?
So funny.
Folks doing okay? You doing all right?
So he was so believable last year that this year, people were just like, "Oh, hey, man."
I had heard that they had like wanted to hire him to put him to work. Yeah. So there's the big setup,
So
and again,
fun.
there's the guy right there. There's that farm truck guy. He's so funny. He is the best. Oh, so this is a picture of me over by the Evel Knievel motorcycle setup where
last year's podcast.
It's Motor Mania is the podcast, and I got to sign the inside of the podcast trailer. So there's my signature right over there.
Yep.
Stay sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the Evel Knievel setup. So Motor Mania travels along with this this really cool Evel Knievel.
And this was that setup was there last year, but there were more pieces, right?
Yeah, so look at all these cool people that have signed the thing. Pretty neat.
Very cool.
Yep. And I believe on the table, I thought I had signed the table, but I guess I didn't.
You looked.
Chip Foose signed it. But
there's the Evel you weren't Knievel, cool enough.
That's the wheelie car.
Cool.
Super neat. Yeah. This is one of our people that were by the booth, and this is a crazy Corvair. And we met this gentleman and his wife. I think I get their name right. It's Steve and Patty Lannis. Really, really awesome people. He explained all kinds of crazy stuff that he did to this custom Corvair. Really crazy. This was all downstairs, right behind. You can see
right behind our booth.
Yeah. And we started talking to him and just had a great conversation. And then he had me sign
center console.
So there's Shaggy signed it. Little Daddy Roth, of course, signed it, and then Ron Finch signed it. So here's my signature with Little Daddy
with the
Roth,
legends,
Finch, Shaggy, and then he's like, "Hey, you need to make sure you sign it." And I was like, "What?" So that was a cool thing. So there's the cool shot of the car.
That is neat.
Yeah.
And they were such nice people.
Yeah. And the rest of these are just shots from downstairs. Downstairs Autorama is really the best.
So
place.
much fun.
It is really the
we
coolest
did
spot.
make it upstairs, but I only made it upstairs with you the one day. You went up by yourself?
I went up because
bit.
Another guy wanted me to sign his
gas tank
on his display,
yeah,
which was cool. And they had some really cool BMX bikes. Like, oh my god, like there's a Hutch. Always wanted the Hutch. There's a red line. Oh my god, every one of these I would take in a heartbeat. It would be so awesome now with those BMX bikes. A pretty slick. There was just some really cool cars downstairs.
Yeah,
I mean, look at this thing. Beautiful.
Some of the cars downstairs look like they could have been upstairs this year.
That's the thing. I don't think they wanted to be upstairs.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, downstairs is the place.
That's where it's at.
Cool little 5-window. This thing was loud. Remember when it was leaving?
Yep.
Yeah. Camel towing. Of course, the Blues Brothers played.
Yes.
It's always awesome when they come and they do a whole Blues Brothers show.
Yeah, they go up on stage and they're singing and yeah,
super fun. Cool little Chevy. This thing was crazy. Look at this, a stagecoach that's driven by 2 motorcycles. Nuts. This model. Oh,
you love this one.
Was so 1930, same as mine. And I just love the stance of it, and of course you love the color and the patina.
I do.
And I just kept trying to get closer looks on how smaller wheels and tires setup than I have, and just a really super cool car. This thing reminds me of our good friend Craig's car. Just 34, his 32 or 30. But a really awesome thing. They had a whole
ton of motorcycles.
Motorcycles was the big theme this year, which was drag bikes and different things. So these were a really cool modified Honda motorcycle. There's of course the cool Shaboom Lions flame throwing pickup truck.
Bob Frizz.
Yeah, Shaboom.
Love it.
Yeah. So here's a picture of this. I was in the wrong spot. This is supposed to be with the cavalcade stuff. Another cool cafe racer turned into a drag bike. And then there's just a really cool shot of downstairs.
Oh, that is a cool shot from up there. I didn't even think to do that.
Yeah. So you can see, I mean, it is big down there.
It's huge.
But that's with nobody in there.
Right.
But so you can only imagine.
It was packed.
As wide as
Saturday
those aisles are,
packed.
It's all you can do to walk down the aisles. There's so much people downstairs. I think there was way more people downstairs than upstairs.
I didn't go upstairs.
Way more people. Because it was just the place to be. There's music, you could have beers.
They weren't walking around drinking beers upstairs.
Not really.
Yeah. We had our guy, and I don't know his name. I want to say it's Mike. I think he did tell us.
The short and sassy.
The guy who brings the beers.
Oh, that guy too. Yeah.
Every year.
I actually turned him down once this time.
Did you?
He
came twice because you took the first one.
Came Saturday, and I had already had a few.
Our first year at Autorama.
And I was like, I'm good, man.
This guy was walking around with a cooler, like a crossbody cooler.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you want a beer? And you were like, sure.
Yeah.
He reaches in, grabs one, like he's walking around with like a 12-pack of beer.
Actually, I think he was wearing a shirt that time, was like trade you a hug for a beer.
Oh, I think it was.
And I was like, I'll take a hug.
So we met him at Autorama.
Yeah.
That same year, we went to Frankenmuth.
Yep.
Saw him there.
Yep.
Same guy.
Yep.
Same cooler.
Showed up.
Giving free beers.
Yep.
Autorama last year, he came
Showed
too.
Up, multiple days.
And now Autorama
beers.
this year. It was hilarious.
Yep.
What and like just giving them away.
Yeah, he did every time.
And
always gave me a koozie, which I forgot my koozie that he gave me last time. But check out this thing. This is like one of those zinger cars, but in the Mad Max theme, which is really cool. And this guy was like really trying to race to get it done for Autorama and did a great job. This sick Ford.
Did you get to talk to a few people then about their projects? I mean, you were kind of walking around, but
not especially, but just took a lot of photos of different people's stuff. This Bug was across from us, and
that one was pretty cool.
And it just have V8 engine inside of it. Super cool.
Slammed.
Like I love the tall tires. It makes me want to do that with Kona.
Yeah,
like those tall tires. So, and then just cool displays. They had a lot of neat stuff downstairs. So that was that.
Okay.
Did it stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got Michael says, I love Rat Fink. So here's the cool part. There are so many people that walk around with Rat Fink merchandise and gear and don't even realize Little Daddy is in our booth.
That was the nutty thing, is that, yeah, they'd even come and ask, hey, you guys part of that Rat Fink thing in the corner? I'm like, well,
there was a booth.
I mean, we don't want to get into the logistics.
No, there was a booth downstairs selling Rat Fink stuff. Yeah. It was all, Little Daddy's Big Daddy's.
That's what I'm saying. Let's not get into the logistics.
In any case,
you're going into the logistics.
People were asking if we were connected to that, and of course, we weren't connected to any of it. But I would say, no. But do you know who this is? And I was like, this is Little Daddy. This is Big Daddy, the originator of Rat Fink.
Yeah,
this is his son.
Yeah. No clue.
And they were like, what? And so many people were just like, and then just to hear the stories, because you would think after 2 years of spending time with Little Daddy at these shows, and then we had him on the podcast and we heard even more stories. There were new stories. Like it's an unlimited amount of stories.
What I'm starting to understand is, and what he was telling me was that there are times where guys will call him up and go, hey man, I was talking to your dad back in the day, and he goes, oh my God. And it sparks a memory,
right?
Where he's like, I remember, you know what? And then and it goes off into a whole thing that spun like, last year the guy gave him his dad's paint box from Knott's Berry Farm when he worked at Knott's. And that just brought a whole bunch of memories. And then people started talking to him about this and that, and he just remembered. I mean, he spent a lot of time with his dad and worked a lot with him, and experienced so much stuff, and
just the history.
It's an amazing. He's an amazing storyteller too.
I feel like, and I know there are people around that knew Big Daddy and had some stories, like Bob Frizz has some stories, but Little Daddy, I feel like, is almost single-handedly keeping this history alive in what he's sharing.
The history for sure.
Yes,
sure, because it's stories. Again, it's stories that the experiences that he has. I mean, when he's telling a story of, a fairly recognizable vehicle that he got to go look at. I think it was not the Outlaw. It was the blanking right now. It's the yellow car.
Orbitron?
No, that's not Orbitron. Why am I blanking right now? It's not the Outlaw.
Tweety Pie?
It's not. No, it's not Beating a Bandit. It's
one of the cars.
Oh my God, I cannot. And I don't have my phone with me to. Someone help me. It's the yellow car. Why can't I remember what it's called? Twin engines. Anyways,
Jim Pollan said Tweety Pie. That was what I thought when you said
twin engines yellow. Tweety Pie's not.
That's
Tweety
true.
Pie was not yellow.
That's true.
Tweety Pie was purple. But anyways, so he was like, climbs underneath the car and he sees this one thing that he knows, like, is ingrained in his mind, because he had one of his jobs was like fitting the seats or something like that, or molding the seats of that car. And he was like, holy cow, it was the real car. Like, it was pretty Mysterion. Thank you.
There you go.
Sam Metro for the win. At Mysterion. Yeah. And so he was just telling us a story, and I just thinking to myself, wow. And then him and Hicks, we were sitting in Bob Frizz's man cave, which is his whole house, but it's the specific man cave. And he starts to tell us about the fight that happened with the Hells Angels and Big Daddy Roth, and like the logistics of it all. And it was amazing to sit and listen and imagine it all happening and it going down. And this is all like historical stuff. Like,
I was like
a car culture person.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. So
because
great.
The way he tells it is like so animated
that's what I'm saying.
and exciting.
He's a great storyteller.
Little
Daddy Roth is an amazing storyteller.
Yeah.
Like, I really wish I really wish he would I mean they had a channel and they was doing some stuff with the flake metal flake factory and stuff like that, but I would love a little Daddy Roth. We got to get him back on here.
Oh, I know.
He's supposed to be coming to Florida soon, and we're hoping to get him back on if he finds time in his
if he can
visit.
squeeze us in.
Because man, we would love to have him on again and tell some more stories. They're so good.
It's just so
he's just such a kind person and a goofball, and
so super talented. If you look at the video that I did, I zoomed in on the pieces that he had airbrushed.
Oh, his art
and then
amazing.
Glossed. Oh my god!
Like his artwork, like his rat fink on canvases. That there's his style and the way he paints rat fink, even the way he does a little cartoon of it when he signs his name.
Yeah,
it is such a cool version that is his own. That I'm like, oh, I wish I could do it that way. Mm-hmm. He just captures it in such a fun, cool way that
he's probably been doing it for years.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure.
What's cool about it, about spending time with him, is again learning all this, background history of his dad and just how things developed and thought process behind things and how they did things, is just hearing about him and the cool adventures, being the son of this fabricator and artist, and then also hanging out with Hicks, the two of them together.
That's what I was going to say. So the fun
their childhood shenanigans
is Mike Hicks and having Mike Hicks, like I got to spend garage time at Mike's house talking to Mike, and Hicks is hilariously funny, great stories. But you get those two guys in a room and they start talking about their childhood and the things that happened, because we're talking, they were in like grade school together.
Mm-hmm. Like when kids get into trouble.
Yeah. The memories that you have as a kid, riding your bike, doing kid stuff. And the cool thing is that here's the stories coming from Little Daddy, but then also Hicks is like, yeah, remember when we went and we were hanging out in front of your garage and the two Hells Angel guys pulled up and they were shooting the shit with your dad and Von Dutch, and then they're like, hey, we want to go get us some sodas, and they like threw money at them, and they would like let them keep the change, and they'd buy candy with the change and buy a ton of candy, and they're just these kids hanging out with these like 1%er out, like the original outlaw biker guys,
and they didn't even realize,
and they're just
at the time
shooting the shit, leaning on the bikes. That they said the guys were the coolest to them. And would let him do all kinds of cool shit, and it was just so neat. And I'm like imagining this. Man, could you imagine being a kid during that time and how crazy that had to be?
Right.
And then he's telling us the stories of like, oh yeah, Von Dutch came, picked us up, and then we went by like, I think he said Steve McQueen's house or something, and they were driving. I don't know. It was this crazy stories. That you're going, no way. That really happened.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun.
That's cool.
Anyways, and then so just fun stuff like that that happens every time we go to Autorama.
But we wouldn't have had a lot of those moments had we not shared home time with them, because at the show, like especially this year, there wasn't a whole bunch of back and forth. We were super busy.
All of our tables.
We were super busy. But when we got back to the house, since we were all staying together, that's when it just like all unleashed.
It was so cool.
What a blessing to know these guys, and Bob, and his stories and what he adds to it as well, and just the history.
Again, first of all, Shaggy LeBlanc made it all possible.
He did
from the first.
Shag's the man.
Got us in there, got us an invite, made a space for us,
made us welcome.
Obviously, talked to Little Daddy Roth and hey, I got these folks coming, and you're cool with it. I'm hoping that Little Daddy had remembered
meeting you that one time
at on Full Custom Garage, and then he was like, yeah, that's cool. And then because like immediately we told that story, it was like we had known each other for years.
We were just welcomed with open arms.
So cool. But and then we meet Bob Frizz, and he invites us to his place, and it's just, we talked about that again the first year, how just overwhelmingly welcome and made us feel at home. And then for it to go to where it is now, to which is, he's opened his home to us And we get there and we're like, hey, we're gonna go to the store and grab some snacks and things. And he's like, you don't have to go to the store. I bought stuff. And he went to all the he had his daughters go like clean the rooms and do all the. But what's really, really cool is like he went to all the trouble and he got like these special candy dishes, like where we had a snack basket in our room. And he just, and he had so much going on already. Like getting 2 cars to the show and all that kind of stuff, where
3 cars to the show.
You're right, 3 cars to the show. And so he was already super, super busy, yet he found time.
And we felt bad because we normally would have flown in on Wednesday and had been there to help with that kind of stuff if they needed any additional help or needed supplies hauled. And we wound up going on Thursday a little bit late.
So Ity-B and I just want to make sure that it is known for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, we have so much love and respect for Shaggy LeBlanc and Bob Frizz for opening his home and making us welcome, Shaggy for getting us down there, Little Daddy Roth and Hicks for welcoming us into their space that first Autorama. And it's just been so much fun, and it just feels every time it feels closer and closer, like we're family.
Yeah,
because I feel like our conversations are getting deeper and deeper, and in a good way. And like you said, getting up in the morning, it's like I never had a big brother.
Aww.
I had an older sister, so I didn't have a big brother. Getting up and having breakfast with Hicks and Little Daddy, and them just teasing each other, teasing me. It's like being a little brother
and
to these really cool people.
Here's what I will say: being a woman in a house full of men who all share the same passion, and I don't know what you're talking about half the time, like the people and the cars. I don't know all that stuff. But
half the time I don't either. I just roll with it. I just roll with it and go.
But
I'll learn.
I've tried to earn my keep, and I bring to the table what I'm good at. So I made like biscuits and gravy.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. Okay, you got to tell the biscuits and gravy story because it's so funny. So this really is the essence of Little Daddy Roth.
This is
when it's Little Daddy Roth, he's the greatest guy. He's like this little kid. Tell the story.
Johnny and I.
And if you don't tell it with it, then I'm gonna steal the story and I'm gonna tell it.
No, I'll tell
how you told me.
So
so good.
We had gone to the store as soon as we landed. We went to the store because I have a special diet that I'm trying to do. So I was like, let me go and get food. So I bought these little breakfast sandwiches that were like gluten-free and no carbs or low carbs or whatever. So anyway, I get everything. I put it in the freezer, and that's what I'm making for breakfast. So the next morning, we get back to the house that night, and Bob's like, I got some biscuits and some, sausage gravy up there in the cabinet in a can, if you guys want to do that. I was like, well, I got my breakfast. I'm all set. So I think I'm good. So the next morning I get up and I come out to like get coffee or something. And Little Daddy's like, hey, pulled the biscuits out for you.
Yeah.
I was like,
hey,
oh,
I pulled the biscuits out for you.
Yeah, just in case, just in case you want to.
I don't know if you wanted to, have biscuits.
If you want them,
you don't have to make them.
And then the can of gravy that Bob had shown me was also out on the counter. Yeah. So I'm like, well, do you want biscuits and gravy? Because I was just going to heat up, what I bought. And he's like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, do you want the biscuits and gravy? So it turned into biscuits and gravy. And
then he's like, or somebody was like, well, I got extra sausage in here because you were like,
oh no, I said, do you have extra sausage? Because you can't just use the sausage gravy. You need real sausage. And Bob did have some, so I heated that up and put that in. And the only thing I didn't make was eggs for everybody. I had my family.
That's right, we didn't have eggs.
I didn't do eggs, but everybody had the biscuits and gravy, and they were thankful. And then each morning I tried to heat up something for somebody. And
I got up in the morning, and she's in there cooking, frying the. I'm like, what are you making? She goes, biscuits and gravy. I'm like, what is going on? I thought we just
blew $130 on food
and went to go get microwave. Well, I was like, sweet, I don't have to not have that microwave biscuit thing. But you're like, yeah. And then later on, you told me, and you totally didn't sell it the way you told me. You told me the way it went was Little Daddy was like, hey, here, I got biscuits out for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, we were gonna eat the He's like, oh, okay. Well, in case in case you wanted them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, did you want them? And he's like, I mean, no, I'll be good.
I'd eat them if you made them.
Yeah. And then he was like, what? Oh, here's the gravy thing too, just in case you. Totally like a little kid.
It was cool.
Can we have ice cream for
breakfast?
I know.
You know what? If that's what I can do, if that's what I can bring to the table to bless everybody, then I will do that.
It to the table.
And I
so
did.
Much fun. Those guys are the best. And of course, it was hanging out. We got to go to dinner one night at Pete's Place, which is a great place in Taylor, Michigan. Oh my god, the food there is amazing every single time.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner they have.
And then it's the last night, and we all are freaking tired as all get out, and we just brought. we leave the place. We're waiting for each other. We're supposed to caravan home. We're getting phone calls from the road that the lights in the two Kustoms that are getting driven home don't work, and they're doing 20 miles an hour.
Oh, that wasn't the last night. That was it was the last night. It was
the 20 miles an hour on the freeway, and oh my god, are they going to be all right? And then we're hauling ass trying to catch him, and they were flying with no headlights.
Yeah.
So imagine Jade Idol and then Golden Sunrise flying down
with the dragon truck.
The 90. It was the 90. Is that what the freeway is?
I think it was 92.
92, flying down 92, supposedly at 45 miles an hour. They must have been doing 70, 80 miles an hour with the flamethrowing.
We didn't catch up to
with
them.
the flamethrowing truck behind them, throwing flames. Oh no, he was ahead of them, throwing flames at the cars so they could see. And it's Bob and his daughter who used to work for Ford.
Sherry. Yeah,
Sherry,
she's awesome.
She is the coolest.
She is so cool.
She is a car person.
She's a car girl.
Oh my gosh, she knows car stuff.
Yeah,
like I'd love to go hang with her sometime and shoot the crap about cars and stuff because she knows her cars.
Yeah,
stuff. And was just such a cool person and was telling stories of telling stories of this project she's working on right now, which is this total hush hush deal for Ford.
Shh.
That she's doing, and it's an unveiling.
Don't get her in trouble.
It's an unveiling of a new model, and they're having some issues because they got people who I guess don't know what they're doing. He started pulling things apart, and stuff happened. And anyways,
and so they had to bring in
like again cool stories. Like we're in the mix of like all these cool like secret ops kind of car stuff going on. It was really cool.
Let me catch you up on some of these. Yeah. Dylan was saying there were some cool cars in the pictures. Dylan, my son from California.
Yeah, I got more of the upstairs, the grade 8 photos, and then the Cavalcade of Customs.
We'll have to skim through those quick because we're already 42 minutes in. Matt Williams said, "Good evening, Sketchy Duo. Watched a cool video.
We're going long.
Got a cool watched a cool video on Ian's channel with Gene Winfield. He gave a tour of his shop and house." And we're going to get to Gene in just a minute here. Hank D said there's a few professional skateboarders that have retired. They have bought ice cream trucks and drive around the states giving out free ice cream and skate. I would love it. Matt Williams said, I saw Trixie and her son selling Rat Fink at the Boise Roadster show on Saturday. And I believe they were also at Autorama as well. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Michael said, I'd love to meet him. And then we've got Art, our buddy Art, close cut. Hey, people tuned into the show, enjoying the stories. All right. So you have some upstairs shots you're going to share?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Did it make it?
Not yet.
Hold on.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, and I don't know if you can see this in the camera. We had, MM Motors stop by, and I don't know if this is M&M. I don't know what this stands for. I apologize because there was some stuff with it. There was some stuff with it, and I did not get the name. So please, if you stopped by the booth and dropped this off and the Goonies cup and the stickers, please let me know who you are because I cannot put a name to a face. So thank you for stopping by. We also had, who else did we have stop by?
You're going to talk about that now?
Yes. Yes.
I'm over here trying to do this.
Okay. Well, we're going to do this right now because we were waiting for you. Okay.
Oh, we're waiting for me, but you want me to do something else?
Yes. We have This was the Hot Rods Motorcycle Awareness Suicide Prevention Foundation. George stopped by the booth and left us some information. And then they have
It's on your show.
And they have a car show coming up. And that is going to be Saturday, September 13th, 2025, for you to plan for. This is in Milan, Michigan. So right up where we were. We actually would love to get back to Michigan around this time of year because there's a lot of stuff going on this time of year. This show, they have the drag races up there as well. There are a couple other shows that were going on. And it's just what a great foundation. It's all about safe riding, motorcycle awareness, supporting suicide prevention efforts, and community support. So they've got really good stuff going on over there. There's a veterans crisis line. There are so many motorcycles here in Florida. People, I guess because the weather is so nice here that they just want to come down here. Also, we don't have a helmet law down here in Florida. As long as you have insurance, they don't require that you wear a helmet, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with, but it does get very hot here. So maybe riding with a helmet on could be an issue itself. But yeah, definitely something that we watch for down here as well, because we have quite a few motorcycle riders around us. Alrighty, so we are ready.
Keep talking.
Oh, I'm good. That's all I had.
Keep going.
Give me Scrapyard. We had our buddy from Scrapyard Productions come by. And where am I? I'm trying to find my camera. Here I am. And he dropped off some t-shirts for us. And this is a big giant sticker.
Yep. That's
Ronnie, we met him at the first Autorama. He was he the guy on the bike?
Yeah.
Yes. So he was riding this
modified. He has a YouTube channel that he does modified bicycles, and chops them up and does all kinds of cool creations. And then he started doing a full the Scrapyard Productions channel, which is like he does demolition derby and builds different crazy cars and stuff like that. So he took a little bit of a break, but he's back at it, and they just started working on a new bicycle that they're working on over there. But a really cool person, and yes. I believe he brought his wife over, and
he did
talking to us, and he's always been a chock full of information. He's had his YouTube channel for a little bit longer than we have, and just had just a knowledgeable person as far as tips and tricks and different things like that. So he's just always a good person, and always just been such a fun guy to talk to. And of course, every year we trade t-shirts. So
yes,
yeah, so that's always been fun. So yeah, just real quick, we're going to throw through some of the pictures, so you can see some of the Great 8 photos. Let me know if it's slideshow.
Yeah,
or not.
We can see this now. This can we say that this was the winner?
Yeah.
Oh, I just said it. This was the winner. What was the year of this Nomad?
55, I believe.
Beautiful car.
Yeah, 1955. Yeah, pretty amazing vehicle. And it was the one that Ity-B and I had chosen.
Right. When we were doing our initial walk around.
Way before it was official.
Oh, Sam Metro said 56.
Nope, 55. But pretty sick.
Yeah, really nice.
So that one was one of them.
This is now upstairs, guys.
Yep, and then you got this Corvette.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep, which was pretty cool.
Very cool.
This is interesting. It's allowing me to add all these images.
Yeah, that's a new feature they have available. I don't know if you want to add them all though.
We'll see what happens.
Beautiful truck. A couple red cars.
Yeah. And then we'll get to the one that we were.
Oh, gosh.
I'm waiting for us to get some heat from.
Yeah. And you said they narrow these down on Friday night then? Because everybody pretty much moves in Wednesday, Thursday. Or was it Thursday night that they narrowed them down?
Whoops. What did this thing just do? This particular car. To it. Where did it go?
I don't know.
There it is. Is it zooming now?
It's not zooming.
Anyways, that car that's up on screen right now is, why won't it do it?
Mm.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say about the car?
I didn't like it.
Oh, was this the one with the lights?
No, this is not the one with the
No.
lights. Let's talk about the one with the lights.
Okay.
Here's the one with the lights. Oh, you only get 10 images. Of
You need to
course.
remove those other ones.
I don't know how to do it. Remove. Are you doing it as well?
No.
Oh, I heard double clicking.
Mm-mm. Sorry, guys. Rob Spears joining us.
Why are you
Welcome.
starring?
Because there's dead silence right now. Let's see. Sam Metro said, "Yep, a 55 with what looked like a 56 taillights. Maybe that was it." Okay, so here's the one we're talking about.
Yeah. So this, I'm so bummed. I love this car. It's really cool.
It's a beautiful car.
It's the blackest black I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they did the whole really custom wheels with the rims that look like white walls. And then they went and put these silly Mini Cooper headlights.
Yeah, you weren't a fan.
Not a fan.
No.
Anyway.
It was still a nice car, though. I mean, just, you don't have to agree with everybody's choice.
I guess I don't. Yeah.
How are you deleting these other?
I don't know. I was deleting it. Now it's not letting me delete.
Okay.
Good. All right. So let's get to the studio. Good.
Well, there's still more about the show that I want to talk about real
Go
quick.
ahead. Talk.
Which is, we had several of the young kids who Johnny drew with at the very first Autorama come back to the booth not only last year, but then also again this year. It's been really neat to see them grow and to see that they're still excited about drawing and about art and about cars. There was one point where you had three brothers. They were all brothers, right? Three brothers.
Yeah.
Three brothers came up and wanted to draw. So Johnny asked them what each of their favorite cars were, and he drew a car for each of them while they each drew a car that I think you asked them to draw. They gave them like a drawing prompt. And we had those kids in the booth on our side of the booth, Johnny standing behind them. And I think I did some video of that as well. So we'll get them on there. We'll get that video up. I think I sent it to Hank to post. So he's probably editing, but we'll get that on there. Yep. But that was super fun because, the kids were just so excited. The parents would come up and say, "Oh, all they kept talking about was let's get downstairs. Let's get downstairs. We want to go see Johnny." And they would come up and they just stand there and they just smile. And I'm like, "We remember you." Like I literally remembered the faces of these kids.
Well, one of them it's the third year he's come. And
yeah.
He walked up and he had all the confidence in the world.
Mm-hmm.
"What's up, Jalopy?"
Yeah. He was so funny.
I was like, "Not much, man. How are you?" Yeah, doing good. You still drawing? What? That wasn't that bad, but he did call me Jalopy. "What's up, Jalopy? How you doing?" And then I was like, "Are we drawing?" He goes, "Yeah." And then his parents said that he'd been practicing all week.
Yeah, and the parents were like, for 20 minutes had to just stand at our booth
20
waiting.
Minutes.
It was. By the time we did the
wasn't.
pictures and everything else, yes, it was. It was a while, but it was.
It's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes for you when it like when we're waiting for food. It's only been 5 minutes, and you think it's been half an hour.
You're right.
Yeah, I know, because your timing is.
You're right.
You have no patience.
So that was a fun thing. So yet again, we had these kids in the booth just drawing, and
yeah, that was worth it all.
Yeah.
Was that and it was a great experience. The downstairs did not disappoint again this year.
No, so much fun.
And the thing I will say though, it did seem there was a little less stuff upstairs, as far as 2 years ago it was wall to wall full of stuff, and it just didn't seem like there was as many. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Maybe the weather. Maybe because it did snow. I guess
there was some snow before we got there. Yeah.
Interesting.
But all in all, great show.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Response. Met some really good people. Got to see friends we've made over the last couple shows.
And even other people that work the show, like the Sweet Cold people came by and talked, and it was good catching up with them again and seeing them. And we'll have to catch their names next time. Like we feel like I've known them.
I know.
And there was like one of the guys that works in that booth. His kid showed up with his sick ass mohawk and was all punk rocked out.
Oh, is that who that was? I didn't know who that was. We took a bunch
of
photos of that
kid
too.
His kid or his uncle or something. I don't know.
Something.
He knew one of them, and yeah, that kid was cool. And
it was neat. There were so many family members, like, you know, Shaggy's kids came, and Uncle Larry's kids came, and you know, just so many people were in our booth at one point or another where I'm like, it's like the place to be. It was like the place to hang out. Yes. I mean, it did help that we had some Girl Scout cookies in the booth,
but they were from like 2 years ago. They didn't go stale.
Yeah, it was just an all around fun time. We're so thankful for the opportunity, like we said, and we just
so much fun.
I can't imagine not going, ever not going. So you're stuck with us if you'll have us, guys.
So Detroit Autorama 2025. We had a great time. Hopefully you enjoyed us sharing with you some of the pictures, some of the cars and stuff like that. We had a great time.
And more to come, because
we'll have to figure out how to do this slideshow thing.
And I have pictures I didn't post, so I'll have to go through my stuff and do that. It's been a busy week since we've been back.
That's a part where we need to figure out how to do is better presenting stuff, because I wanted to present these what you call it, the Iron Trap stuff. I guess we'll just have to talk about it. I'll try to at least get 1 or 2 photos up.
Yeah, and we did do a few Johnny on the spots while we were there, so I know those got posted. Pretty good response on those. Alrighty.
So are we okay to talk about Gene
Yes,
now?
we are.
You know, I was really hoping that we could do like a moment of silence for him.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Sure. Just making sure. Time frame and stuff. So so Tuesday we got home Monday, and then got up to Tuesday, and immediately I saw the posts about Gene, and the only thing I could think to do was contact somebody who is super close to him, because there's been, you know, over the course of this last year, the unfortunate thing with Gene Winfield is there's been a lot of drama and different things happening, and so in fact there was some supposed possibilities of what we lost him last year. And so it was a matter of, you know, did it really happen? When you get up and you read posts about people passing and things, especially people like that, a legend, you know, you want to make sure you know. So all I could think to do is call the person that I knew was, if it was really true, would know for sure, because he's super close to him, which is Bob.
Right.
And so I messaged Bob, and then I was like, that's not good enough. If it's true, I need to talk to him. That's the respectful thing to do. How close they were, right? So I called Bob, and, you know, of course, you know, asked him, hey, you know,
well, it had gone to voicemail initially,
right? And then he called me back.
Yeah.
And I left a message, and just wanted to check in. Saw the posts on Facebook, and he called me back, and he's like, yeah, to confirm it happened. So we did lose Gene Winfield, a legend. I didn't know him. We both got an opportunity to meet him really at the same time.
Yeah.
For the first time. But he is a legend, and was a legend, and will continue to be a legend in the automotive culture. And so we just thought we'd, you know, take, at least here on Sketchy Live, a quick moment of silence for Gene Winfield. And you know, can't wait to see the guy again. It's usually customary to take about a minute, but you know, it's a show, so we're respectfully, you know, rest in peace, Gene.
And we are praying for those people who knew him and who were close to him. This is a great loss. I mean, and you know, we were talking about the fact that there were so many people that that knew him, maybe people that had taken a class with him where they were shoulder to shoulder with this man, and he invested time in those people, and how they maybe didn't know the ins and outs of his life and were best friends with him, but they felt that connection, and they're experiencing a loss just as much as his good friends. I did get to meet him just the one time, had a special moment with him. He let me kiss him on the cheek. And I got to give him a hug and introduce myself. And he was just so sweet. I remember this was the first Autorama show that we had gone to. So everything for me was super overwhelming. And then to find out who he was in the culture, learn a little bit more about him before going out to the show, because we knew he was going to be there. He had actually been in the hospital like the day prior to, or the day of, I think, this show. And he wanted to be at this show so bad and found a way to get there. And he was there. He was signing autographs. He was talking to people. He was smiling. He didn't look great. Like, you could just tell that maybe he probably should have been at home and in bed, but he was happy to be there. And I was like, wow, that's dedication to your fans and to people who you knew were coming out to see you. And I didn't know him at all. I really didn't, but I have such respect for the man that he was to so many people.
Yeah, he definitely again, I only know the history portions of his legend, and was close a couple times to going to his class and stuff. When I first got on Full Custom Garage, that was one of the things that I was kind of hoping, because Ian had spent time with Gene, and the first I think this first episodes we had gone to Moon Eye's Christmas party, and Gene was there, and he's like, oh, Gene's there, and I'm gonna go say hey, and I'm like, okay. He's like, well, come say hi. I'm like, I hate to bug him. I don't know him like you know him, and he he had a line around the block waiting to talk to him. And I felt bad, Ian could go in there because he's, people were like, oh, Ian's here, but sign up my autograph too.
Right.
But then I show up on the side. It didn't feel right. And then there was another opportunity that same day to talk to him, and he was busy, and I just didn't want to bug him. And then I had another opportunity when I went to SEMA. I was in the same booth as him as they were signing autographs and stuff. And he walked by and he was talking to the group and stuff like that. And again, I was like, in awe of what his accomplishments are and who he is. I just didn't want to bother him. And then it got to the point where, he started kind of getting sick and stuff. I'm like, shit, I'm running out of time. And what it taught me, guys, and all of us in this culture, is there are tons of people that maybe aren't to the level of a Gene Winfield, but so much to learn from that man. Is that the guy never stopped pursuing his passion for the automotive, everything automotive, painting, fabricating, building, creating, being a part of the culture, immersing himself in the shows, all that kind of stuff. Very accessible person, from what I could tell. To some degree, probably he was too accessible in many ways towards the year. But I think, if anything, we take away from it is that there are more legends that are beginning to become, or are in the midst of halfway through their legend run kind of thing. And we got to start really holding on to the ones we have left. I mean, there are still some of those legendary guys out there that are still alive. And, TikTok, time is ticking.
Yeah.
And, we only have so much time on the earth. So, when you're out at shows and stuff like that, that's why this community is so important. Sharing time with each other and spending time with each other, growing it and making it continue. Because again, there are young people that now need to know who Gene Winfield is and was, and what he brought to the table. And the only way they're going to learn is that us in the culture have to teach them about guys like him, Barris, those kinds of guys.
Sam Metro said the hot running community has lost some of the greatest. Gene is up in heaven with George Barris, Joe Balian, Pete Shaporis, and others. He said, sorry, I missed let me see. Ed, Big Daddy Roth, and Von Dutch.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was Big Daddy's birthday that same day.
Yeah, that was a kind of a bummer deal on that day, even though we are celebrating someone whose past birthday. I usually try to put something out about Big Daddy's birthday and stuff like that too, to celebrate it and to continue the legend. And it was just like this reminder of the double whammy where, here's a legend that we had lost before and I never got to meet, who has had such an influence and an impact on on my art career and the things I've been doing in the automotive industry too. All comes from just being inspired by what he created. Whether it's the art that he did or the people he had do art, all those guys that against why I feel so grateful that we get to spend time with Little Daddy Roth and hear these stories.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is we're hearing this now, being around Bob, as we're hearing stories about Gene,
the Gene
too,
stories,
which is really cool too.
It is.
So that's neat. So even though I didn't get to meet him and get to know him as much as I would have liked to have got to know him, I still feel like there's a little bit of a better connection than it was before.
Yeah.
But it would have been amazing to meet all these guys, all these legends.
For sure. Michael said that was nice. Gene has touched so many lives. Rest in peace. Thank you, Johnny and Ity-B. Rob Earl's just joining us. He said, sorry, I've missed most of the broadcast. Are you on daylight savings time now? Yes, we are. That was another thing that happened this past weekend. So sorry. Michael says, you are a legend, Johnny.
I don't know about all that.
Matt Williams said, I did get an opportunity to meet Barris and get his picture. Very friendly guy.
Yeah. And that's, we got other guys that are really putting their heart and soul into the automotive community, and we've got to hold on to their legend too. I mean, look at these builders, like the guy that just won the Riddler. Here's an opportunity where this guy should be a name and get some, because he was certainly kind to us. Boy, I asked a simple question about his car as him and his wife were waxing it, and he
stopped and talked to us.
Totally stopped and was like, "Hey, yep, this is what I did, and this is what," and it didn't do it in a way that was like heady. Or anything. He was just a very humble person. At least my interaction with this current Riddler winner guy which made me, when we were talking to him, like, man, I hope that car wins because I really like it.
Yeah.
And then it was really cool to find out on Sunday that the car had won the Riddler, which was cool. Like we picked the Riddler first.
We did. You heard it here first.
Yeah, so maybe next year they'll have the new Riddler prize of the Johnny Jalopy Ity-B pick. So much fun. Goodness. But anyways, Gene Winfield, rest in peace. We miss you, and your legend lives on. And again, you guys out there, gals out there in the automotive community, we got to keep the legend living. Got to keep talking about him, sharing about him, and all these other legends that we've also lost.
And all of these people who have gone to his classes and have learned something from him, keep doing what you're doing and share that with other people. So it just keeps growing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, we're at 1:07. I really wanted to talk about hour 7. So I really wanted to talk about Iron Trap Garage.
Yes, let's.
A recent posting of, I believe his name is Matt. Over there at Iron Trap Garage, a really cool. If you get an opportunity to go to YouTube, Iron Trap Garage, they have a website as well. These guys basically build hot rods in Pennsylvania, in a garage, and they're scrapping and picking, and now that they've been doing this for quite some time, they've been able to get, some people have opened up, where a family member passed away and made available for the person's barn stuff. And they've really found a bunch of early Ford parts, and are really, really continuing to build traditional hot rods in a cool way. And I just recently saw a very cool episode, basically where they took a 30s or 32 Ford that had mechanical brakes and took the parts that are currently on the vehicle and changed it to where it will do juiced brakes without a huge amount of modification, still utilizing some of the current items. And what I thought was the most impressive part, let me show you a quick photo of it. This is what I thought was most impressive. If it pops up.
Me and Gene again.
Okay, good. So this is the actual actuator for mechanical brakes, flipped upside down, sitting on the next to the cross member where the battery tray would normally sit. And they basically flipped this unit upside down, cut off some of the long arms, bent these arms here to where as the factory rod,
they can't see your cursor.
Sorry, as the factory rod and the factory pedal push against each other, still using 32 parts for mechanical brakes, actuates the master cylinder out of I think he said a gremlin, because it has these side out outlets for the fuel line or brake lines, and basically didn't have to cut any of the cross member. Didn't have to take a K member from like a 34 or a 39 or a 40s car and put it in there, which is what most I've heard when they do juice brakes in a 30s car. They basically had to relocate the battery tray to the other side and do a little modification to the battery tray, and of course change the hubs to, you know, juiced hubs and that. But that's a pretty common thing to be done. But to take this center portion that controlled the mechanical brakes in the 32 Ford, and then pull it apart, basically flip it upside down, remount it to a different location, drill one hole into the cross member. Like I think he said it was like I don't know, 6-inch or a 10-inch little hole, maybe smaller than that. Just to have the rod actuator for the master cylinder be able to come through and ride on the same forks off the mechanical brakes was amazing. I was like, oh my God, I could do that on mine and do juice brakes on my Model A, doing that same concept, utilizing all the same factory parts that are already currently in my car, except for, you know, having to do new drums and brakes and setup for juice brakes. But then we were talking about it last night. The hard part is usually all the stuff underneath is the hard part. It's not the actual spindles and wheels and hubs. That's the hard part. And they had seen it off somebody else, and they tried to do it on their own, and they showed how it is totally doable and very, very mechanically sound. And we had talked about us maybe not needing those types of brakes in the car until we did an engine swap or got some more power under the hood. Right. However, you then said that because you want to lower it, that in order to lower it, you have to do some reconfiguration down there, and you might as well just do it all at the same time. Yeah. So that's the same picture, isn't it? Hold on. There it is. I just wanted to show. This is terrible. This is the actual episode. It's a hidden hydraulic brake conversion for 32 Ford from those guys at Iron Trap Garage. That's Matt himself. Very cool channel. Very seems like very down to earth guy. I've never met him. Informative. Very informative. Their channel's chock full of cool videos of them going and finding cars, working on cars, modifying cars, fabricating on cars, but utilizing what they really, it seems to me, always trying to use early parts, not, you know, buying new stuff and trying to, like they would have done it in the old days. And he tried to stick to the time period and all that kind of stuff. So not snooty traditional guys, but, you know, because they've done some stuff where they've gotten some heat from the traditional hot rod guys, but they're very cool dudes. And just a shout out to Iron Trap Garage. Definitely head over to their YouTube channel and check it out. Very, very cool build. And this was the hidden hydraulic brake conversion. It just aired a couple days ago. Check it out. Very interesting. You've been so stoked since you've seen this. Oh, it was such a. I'm gonna this is a game changer. I'm going to watch it again and again because it was such a cool thing. I'm like, I could totally do that to my car and it would work because it worked on this one.
We've got Shaggy's son, I believe, LeBlanc Drums. He said, "Here, I'll get Pop set up a YouTube so he can watch." So he probably hasn't been watching. He did used to watch us on YouTube, but please let him know that we gave him huge shout outs. He'll be able to watch the playback. We are going to repost the playback to Facebook at some point, probably in the next couple days, I think. So it'll be available over there. He just isn't able to go live, so he couldn't do his little comments and stuff. But yes, please, somebody help him get set up. We'd love to have him as part of this. And then Bob too, Bob Frizz, if you can make it over there and help him get set up too. Because he had mentioned that too, that he might have a problem getting on, but we want them to be able to see this episode so they can hear the shout outs we gave them.
Yeah. There's the 32 getting pulled into the workshop. The workshop cool. Is so badass.
Yeah, it's big.
So cool.
It's big.
Yeah. It's 2 stories too.
Well, how are they getting cars on the second story?
Because they drive up onto it's 2 levels.
They have like a ramp. It's like a Matchbox garage.
It goes up into it's not a ramp. It's actually it's up higher.
This
is like a basement.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really cool setup. Very, very cool. So again, head over to Iron Trap Garage, check that channel out. Tell them Johnny Jalopy sent you, and you won't be disappointed. It's a great channel, and if you really love hot rods and fabrication stuff like that, it's a great channel. And of course, I always been watching some cool videos over on my buddy Ian's channel as well. Full Custom Ian. They're working on the little jewel project on the desert. That's a cool one going on. So go check that out as well. Anything else?
No, just stay tuned for some little shorts. We're going to be filming some more of that kind of stuff as Johnny gets out in the garage again and starts piddling with our things out there. So hopefully there'll be more of those adventures out on the road once we get these cars out and running. And it's nearing show season for us, where we're going to be stopping some of the shows, I think, around where we are, just because of the weather when summer hits.
A lot of the shows already, like March is when a lot of shows are going on.
Yeah.
And so
right now is a big time, but then, come May, probably we're going to see a slowdown. So hopefully you were talking about maybe getting over to the spring rod run.
Turkey Rod Run is the 23rd. Of course, our good buddy Craig, they have their show, the old school Hot Rod guys have a show this coming weekend at his place, and we're gonna miss that one. So that's
we have plans this weekend.
Yep. So there's a lot of cool shows going on in March. Of course, Bike Week is going on in Daytona. Was last week, I think, maybe. But a lot of stuff going on here in Florida as far as show stuff. But it's getting close to the time, as I did my little Johnny on the spot today on YouTube. The weather's getting ready to change. But for you guys out there, it's getting ready to become your car season.
It's your car season.
And can't wait to hear you talk about those. And maybe that's where we'll have to venture to other places that aren't raining.
Yes.
And try to show up at a weekend on a car show, something.
Yep. And we have some guests that'll be joining the podcast. We'll be contacting those people and get that scheduled and try and give you some notice so you can make sure you tune in. But this is going to be our platform going forward at 9:30 on Monday nights.
Successful.
I think we had quite a few people come on over and comment and be a part of it with us. So thankful for all of you. Rob said I'll make sure to tune in at 12:30 Tuesdays now, LOL, because he's over in the Hunter Valley, Australia.
Right. Yes, we did have time change here, man. So sorry.
Forgot. Not everybody in the world does it. Just us weirdos.
We wish it could stop. And I was watching a thing today, just not to prolong this any further. A guy made a great comment. Why don't we? This would make it so much easier for the time change, right? It does it at 12 o'clock midnight. Right. So for a working person, you get up, you lose an hour sleep, and now you're at work earlier. Right. So you're bummed out.
Right.
What if they didn't do the time change at 12 midnight, but they did it at 10:30 during the day, to where you're like, oh, sweet. Lunch is sooner.
Right.
And I'm getting out of here quicker. I got to get up my normal time.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to work my normal time. But while I'm at work, I get to leave an hour early. It
makes sense to me.
Everybody would go, heck yeah, let's do more time changes.
Every other day, let's do a time change.
I vote for this. So write your congressman, write your Write your thing, and we'll call it early out. Anyways, I thought it was a good idea. Hey, we sure had a great time hanging out with you guys here on Sketchy Live. Do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button if you like the show. If you don't like the show, make a comment. Let us know.
What can we do to improve?
Yeah.
What can he do to improve?
What can I do? What about the button? Listen, tonight was a little bit different because we were trying to do some pictures and different things like that. We haven't learned that part completely. I don't know why it was the regular share thing didn't work tonight.
I don't know.
So that put a little.
There's like all these photos now on my desktop.
You're fine. It's not going to hurt your thing. All these photos will be melted. Why did it take 10 minutes for my?
We're going to let you go so we can have our argument in peace.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget to head over to Giant Jalopy. If you'd like to support the show, go over to giantjalopy.com and grab a Sketchy Live t-shirt. They're only $25.
They are. They come from small to extra big, and we don't charge extra for the big ones.
Because you're this size over here, a 4 or a 3 or a 2. We don't charge extra for big guys because not only am I a big guy, I'm also the president.
And beanies are stretchable, and it's one size fits all. So grab yourself a beanie.
This is how much Ity-B does beanie. She has a beanie on and then a beanie on top of the chair before you come in here. So I think she was like, I'm going to wear a beanie, but also just in case I forget a beanie, I got a beanie.
I have beanies in the bathroom. I have a beanie.
I know.
Yeah.
Literally a beanie on the
beanies everywhere.
Table. It's beanies everywhere. Beanie. So sure appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Yes.
And we loved spending the time.
And we will see you next Monday.
Yeah. And as always, hey,
stay sketchy.
Stay sketchy.
What were you going to check out?
I was going to say, don't forget about the, those will be available.
These clipboards.
That's how they work.
Yeah. Hangable art. All right, guys. We will see you next week. Have a great week.
Yep. Stay sketchy. We'll see you guys next week. See you, Sketchy.
Bye.